Hey guys, it's Ryan. My goal in this video is to bring you out and about as we're still under a flood watch. It's 11:40 on Friday, flood watch until 2 p.m. and a high wind advisory until 8 p.m. But the sun has come out a little bit. They're supposed to open up Dollywood here shortly. My goal is to go for a drive with you through Pigeon Forge, perhaps make it into Gatlinburg, check out the road conditions and the water levels at places like the old mill, and then hopefully make it back over to Dollywood, walk around a little bit. So they did close down schools today. However, our school, our home school, is not closed, which is what Brie is doing with the kids. So I'm trying to get out and get some activity, get my steps in for the day. And I'm gonna bring you on a little bit of walk around town. But first, let's drive through Pigeon Forge and see what we can find. As we come up to Skyland Ranch, it does look like they are open and their chairlift is up and running. There's a high wind advisory until 8 o'clock. I do see people on there, and it's actually not too windy here in Sevierville at the moment. Let me pull off here where the Little Pigeon River is. So you have the apple barn over to the right. You can see how much rain we've been getting over the last 24, 48 hours. Again, here is the bridge that brings you over into Pigeon Forge from Sevierville. Here comes a pretty good sized tree limb. Let me drive down here and get a little closer to the apple barn. You can see Apple Valley Road over to the left. And if you've ever been back here to the apple barn, this is probably the highest that I've seen it, at least in a long time. Let me zoom in on these trees over here so you can get a better perspective of how much and how strong the water is right now. It is kind of nice that we're getting a break from the rain at this moment. Hopefully a lot of this can clear out. Got a little bit of wind, not as bad as we were getting it last night. Let me walk up here closer to the apple barn. Again, you can see the apple barn over to the right and just a massive amount of water over here. Now that we've checked out this section of the river near the apple barn, let me hop back in the car and see what else we can find. So I will say there is quite a lot of water across the street, but people are getting in and out of the apple barn for some breakfast. Or I guess I should say lunchtime now, as it is past noon. Dollywood should have opened by now. Let's turn on to the parkway from Apple Valley Road and go over the bridge we were just checking out, going over the Little Pigeon River. You can see there's really not a lot of traffic out here on Friday afternoon as we go past Wonderworks and I come up to Hatfield and McCoy Dinner Feud. We go past the Titanic. You can see all these main roads are fine to travel on. You can see people coming in and out of the Sunliner Diner. So it looks like most things are open, with perhaps a few exceptions. I'm gonna take a right over here and check out what the river is like. Oh, wow. It is really high over here by Harpoon Harry's. Harpoon Harry's does look like it's open, but let me bring you down here and show you the river by the bridge. So if you've ever been to Harpoon Harry's, you can look down at the river, which again is very high at the moment with all the rain we've gotten. These ducks are just doing their thing down the river here. But let me walk over here towards the bridge. The sidewalk would go all the way right along here. It's completely underwater at the moment. You can see Magi Quest across the street. And again, this would be a sidewalk. So from this sidewalk that is underwater, let me head back over to my car and keep going down the road. You can see a little pocket of sun trying to come through over on the right. Let's go past Wares Valley Road. I know there are a couple roads down there that are flooded, but I'm going to take a left here. Let's check out the water over here by the island in Pigeon Forge. So I'm actually on the back side of the Pirates Voyage dinner show, and there is a bridge here for service deliveries to the island, and I don't know if anyone's going to be making too many deliveries at the moment. You can see just a massive amount of water. So over here, among all of this trash that's accumulating, I found Doug the Duck, which apparently has a Facebook page. So yeah, big giant Doug the Duck is weathering out the storm here in Pigeon Forge. You can see this section of sidewalk is flooded. Let me walk around that and head closer into the island. I can see some of the island employees having a smoke break on this back little loading dock. I guess they could have some fishing poles with them on their break right now. Here's a look at the back side of the island in Pigeon Forge, right under Paula Dean's family kitchen. And here's a look from the bridge to get over to the island in Pigeon Forge. And what I wanted to make sure I pointed out is everything is still open here at the island in Pigeon Forge. Not a lot of crowds, but you're still able to come out and enjoy everything the island has to offer. But just wanted to give you a look at some of the massive rainwater we recently got here in Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg. It looks like there's even water under the 5 o'clock somewhere bar here at the Margaritaville restaurant. You can see the contrast on this side of the Margaritaville restaurant. It's sunny, and over here you can see it's still looking pretty nasty at the moment. Before we get back on the road, we got to come over here and see the sea lion real quick. Hey buddy, how do you feel about this storm? Yeah, I feel the same way. So as we approach the island on Teaster Lane, I am seeing less clouds and more sun, which is a good sign as we get closer to that 2 o'clock flood warning expiring. I can see people coming in and out of the LeConte Convention Center. I believe there's an event going on, so they didn't have to cancel their event. We could take a left here on Jake Thomas and get over to Dollywood. I think I'll save that for a little bit later. So let's head towards the Old Mill and take a right here on the Old Mill Avenue. As we drive through the Old Mill District, aside from some clouds and a little bit of wind, it seems like a normal day here in Pigeon Forge. Most everything seems open at the moment. I haven't seen anything closed, but let me pull over and give you a look at the Old Mill right now. So the water has definitely gotten higher and is much stronger at this point, with more water than we had from our last video. Like I said, there is definitely a lot of water, but everyone is still out and about. So let's go for a walk along the bridge here and see if we can make it back over to Patriot Park. You can see a lot more water going under the mill today than we saw yesterday. You can see the water coming right up to the steps. We're on the back side of the old mill. You can see the food dispenser is still underwater, and there are a ton of birds hoping that I will hook them up with some food. Excuse me, sorry, excuse me. Sorry guys, excuse me, I don't have any food. So we see pretty high water, but for these guys, it's just another day on the river here. And if I keep going from the old mill, this sidewalk right now is completely underwater from this point as far as I can see all the way down. So from the old mill, we're back on the main road, which as you can see is not too busy. Everything I'm passing by looks to be open. I really haven't seen anything stick out that is closed. It's definitely got a lot more sunny as we are now exiting Pigeon Forge and are gonna work our way through the spur over to Gatlinburg. And as I glance over to the left at the water level, it definitely is higher than it was yesterday. Looks like we've run into some traffic on this part of the spur. I just put in Ripley's Aquarium of the Smokies on the GPS. It says it's 12 minutes away. It looks like it's just backed up in this section. Since I'd just be sitting in traffic right here, I figured I'd pull off real quick and give you a closer look at the river, which I fish this river as much as I can. I haven't fished a lot this year, but check out how much massive water is flowing through right now. This summer it was pretty hot and the water levels were really low. So it's a stark contrast to what it was like just a month ago. We've made it to the Gatlinburg Welcome Center, which is over here on the right. Looks like this is the cause of the traffic. So it looks like there was a water issue at that intersection. Aside from that, I think we're good to go. I will say it is pretty tempting to take a right here on the Gatlinburg bypass and head over to Laurel Falls and go hike out to Laurel Falls and check it out. I don't want to be out too late. I want to come home and have dinner and relax with the kids. But I do want to stop over here to the right at Herbert Holt Park and check out what it looks like today as we go past the Gatlinburg welcome sign. We're going to take an immediate right. So as we come over to this park, we've had water so high it was literally up at this bridge. So it's not by any means the highest water level we've had. So you can see the warning swim at your own risk sign, which I showed in our last video. You could see the concrete down here yesterday, but we've gotten so much more water. This little concrete area where you can walk out and fish is completely underwater. Let me go check out the fishing pier over here. You can see from the bridge there is a lot of debris down here. Looks like this railing has been completely knocked over since yesterday, and the water level definitely is much higher than when we last saw it. So they'll have some cleanup work to do here at the kids fishing pier, which is currently closed down. I was just talking to someone that works here, and they were saying that back in January, the water levels were so high that it was 6 inches deep where this bridge is. So as you cross this bridge, I don't know if you can imagine 6 more inches of water above the road there on the bridge. So not as much water as we have seen previously, but there is still a massive amount of water from the hurricane here in Gatlinburg. So let's take a drive through downtown Gatlinburg real quick. I do see lots of rain up ahead, pretty strong water, a little bit higher than what we saw yesterday over here to the right. It's like Hillbilly Golf is closed down. Have a sign on their window due to weather. There's plenty of parking spots at the parking garage, which is a good indicator of how busy it is. You can see there's not that much traffic. Let me hop out right here and give you a quick look. I made it on River Road here in Gatlinburg, which I don't see any form of flooding. As we come up to the Gatlinburg Sky Park, which is closed down still today, along with Anakista. Let me stop at this bridge real quick and show you where the water levels are at today. But yet here on the main street, it is a normal day. Most people are out and about. Everything looks open here in downtown Gatlinburg at the moment. So I'm actually gonna head back towards Dollywood. But as far as downtown Gatlinburg goes, I hope this video gives you some peace of mind if you're coming soon, that everything is up and running and there's no major issues with any of the roads getting in and getting out. There might be some different residual rain clouds here and there days after the hurricane has passed through, but I wouldn't be too concerned if you got a trip coming up soon into Gatlinburg. So as the sun has come out, so too has the crowds been increasing, which will only get busier as we start to hit mid-October. So now that we've made it over to Dollywood, let's see how busy it is on this Friday on the tail end of the hurricane. As we made it into the Dollywood parking lot, you can see this area where they had some flash flooding, and it doesn't even look that high on this little bridge from what I can see. And here's where the cars begin. She said I was able to go up to B. So we're gonna park over here at B for Butterfly or Brie or Bakery. I think it's time to get some food. I'm getting hungry. As we walk into Dollywood, I don't expect to show you really much flooding inside the park. I'm honestly just at about 6,100 steps. I like to get my 10,000 before I go home, edit this video, and just relax with the family for the rest of the night. My main objective in coming here is to finish up my steps for the day, and you can check out the crowd level to see what it's like on the tail end of a hurricane here at Dollywood. I don't think there are that many people here. Oh yeah, I think this is actually gonna be a perfect day to be here at Dollywood as far as crowd levels go. And as far as weather, it actually feels fantastic. Just a little muggy, but this is a great day to be here. Let's see how the water level is here at the bridge near Red's Drive-In. It's definitely elevated, not as high as I've seen it before, but got lots of rainwater flowing through Dollywood at the moment. I can see lightning rod going up in the distance. And the lake here looks pretty normal. It's not overflowing. It looks like the water clock here in Dollywood is broken. I don't know if it's been broken or the hurricane broke it. And here's a look at the grist mill. Did get some extra water added to it over the last few days, but I think it will settle back to normal as it's pretty clear right now. People are getting cinnamon bread and rocking in chairs. It is life as normal here in Dollywood right now. You can see lots of rainwater still funneling through Dollywood here by the bird show. I won't lie, it's actually very tempting to hop into Lumberjack's Pizza right here and grab their garlic knots and pumpkin cheese sauce, which was one of our favorite festival items, but I know Brie and the kids are making a delicious meal for dinner in a little bit. So I'm gonna head home and spend time with them now that I got my step goal complete. I'm very thankful that this storm wasn't worse than it was. There wasn't more damage. I did just see this picture shared that the I-40 at the North Carolina-Tennessee border is completely washed out. So you might have difficulty if you're coming on I-40 in that direction. But most of the major roads here, based on what I saw today, you're good to go. Some of the smaller roads might still be flooded for a few days, but the main roads in Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg, you're good to go. But I'm really grateful that the damage is not greater here than it was. We have some friends back home in the Tampa area. In fact, Brie's old piano teacher just shared some pictures that their house is 2 feet underwater. So I know a lot of people will be dealing with the aftermath and insurance claims of the storm. But if this video was helpful, enjoyable in any way, shape, or form, let me know down in the comments. Thanks so much for watching. And again, make sure you're subscribed for our What's New video, which will come out next, going over a number of new things here in the area for the month of October. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next adventure.